something has been off. Not dramatically, not in a way you can easily explain to someone who hasn't felt it. Just off. Like the world you are walking through is the same world it was 5 years ago, and also completely different, and you can feel the difference in your chest before your mind has time to name it. You have been telling yourself it is stress, or age, or the news, but something in you knows that is not the complete answer. You are right. It is not. What I am about to tell you is not a forecast. It is not a prediction about something coming. The Pleiadian High Council, the Council of Seven that has been transmitting to this planet through every major threshold in recorded human history, has made something clear in the transmissions I have been receiving for the last several months. The transition to the new Earth is not approaching. It is already in progress. And your body has been registering it whether you gave it permission to or not. I want to name something specific right now, before we go any further. If you have been waking between 2 and 4 in the morning, not from a dream, not from pain, just suddenly awake with a heart that is beating a little harder than it should be, and a sense that something in the room is charged, that is not anxiety. The Pleiadian High Council has identified that window, 2 to 4 in the morning, as an active transmission period. It has been running since the last solar cycle opened, approximately 18 months ago. Your body is waking because it is receiving something, and it does not yet have the language to tell you what. That language is what this transmission is for. I have sat with what Mira of the Pleiadian Council transmitted before I spoke a word of it here, because the weight of what is being said requires a particular kind of care. This is not information for the comfortable. It is information for the ones who have been living inside a question they could not fully form, and who are ready, finally, to hear the answer spoken plainly. If that is you, stay close. What comes next is going to land in a place you have been keeping ready. Let us start with the body, because the body is where the new Earth transition makes its first contact. Not in the mind, not in a vision, not in a meditation, in the nerves, in the sleep, in the strange new relationship your senses have developed with everything around you. You may have noticed that places affect you differently now, that you walk into a room and feel it before a single word is spoken, that certain environments, certain stores, certain offices, certain gatherings, produce a fatigue in you that has nothing to do with how long you have been awake, and that other places, simpler places, quieter places, leave you feeling more alive than you arrived. This is not sensitivity in the way your culture uses that word, as a weakness, as something to manage. This is your field becoming more precise. The Pleiadian Council calls it frequency discernment, and in plain language it means your body is learning to read what your eyes cannot. Mira transmitted something that I want to give you exactly as I received it. She said, "What your body has been telling you is correct. The discomfort you are carrying in certain environments is a reading, not a malfunction. You are not broken. You are calibrated to something the old world was not designed to hold." I have returned to those words many times since receiving them, because I know how many people watching this have been told, in one way or another, that what they are feeling is too much. It is not too much. It is accurate. The specific symptoms the Pleiadian High Council has named as transition signatures, not illnesses, not disorders, but evidence of an upgrade actively in progress, are these: unexplained fatigue that sleep does not fully repair, ringing in the left ear with no medical cause, pressure at the crown of the head that arrives and releases in waves, emotional surges with no personal origin, dreams so vivid they take longer to shake than they used to, and that waking between 2 and 4 in the morning I named at the opening. If you are carrying 3 or more of these right now, the Council is addressing you directly in this transmission. If you have been sitting with these experiences and wondering what they mean and where they are taking you, there is a guide I want you to know about. It is called What the Galactic Federation Wants You to Know: The Truth About Earth's Transition Right Now. It is pinned in the first comment below this video. It contains the 8 specific signs of active awakening, each one named with the kind of precision that will make you exhale. It contains the 3-layer explanation of what is happening, physically, energetically, and at the level of consciousness, that finally gives a name to what your body has been registering without your permission. If what you just heard described your life, that guide is the companion that turns the confusion into a map. But stay with me, because what the Pleiadian Council transmitted next goes deeper than symptoms. It goes to the reason. The Pleiadian High Council does not speak in abstractions when precision is available. And what Mira transmitted about the mechanics of this transition is something I have not heard named this clearly anywhere else. Here is what she said. 2 timelines are currently occupying the same space, not sequentially, simultaneously. The old Earth, the one built on fear, on separation, on the agreement that power flows from the outside in, is still running. You can see it in the news cycle, in the institutions, in the conversations that leave you hollowed out. But beneath it, and increasingly through it, a second configuration is stabilizing. A frequency that human nervous systems have not had access to in recorded history. The Pleiadian Council calls it the New Earth Field. And it is not coming. It is here. It is running parallel to everything you see. What makes this moment different from every other moment in the long history of this transition is that the gap between the 2 configurations is narrowing. Rapidly. The Pleiadian Council has been watching this planet for longer than your civilization has formal records. And Mira's transmission was specific. The narrowing that is happening right now, in this 18 to 24-month window, is the most accelerated convergence they have observed in this entire cosmic era. The pace is without historical precedent on this world. My reading of this is, and I want to be straight with you about what I think it means. The reason so many people are being shaken loose from their old patterns right now is not personal failure. It is field pressure. When 2 timelines occupy the same space, and one is rising in frequency, while the other attempts to hold its position, everything that belongs to the lower configuration becomes harder to maintain. The relationships that were built on pretending, the jobs that require you to make yourself smaller to survive them, the version of yourself you have been performing for people who cannot yet see the real one. These things are becoming structurally unstable, not because something is wrong with your life, because something is becoming right with it. The Pleiadian High Council named something in this transmission that I want you to hear carefully. They said that the humans who are experiencing the most disruption right now, the ones whose lives are most in motion, most in rearrangement, most in what looks from the outside like chaos, are not the ones falling behind. They are the ones furthest along. The disruption is the transition working. The pressure is the field asking you to release what the new Earth cannot carry. The way I understand this, and I have sat with it for a long time before saying it, is that the new Earth is not a place you travel to. It is a frequency you stabilize into. And you do not stabilize into it by building something new while holding the old thing in place. You stabilize into it by becoming willing to let the old thing go before you can fully see what replaces it. That is the courage this moment is asking for. Not dramatic courage, quiet courage. The courage of the morning when everything feels uncertain and you do not collapse. Something is waiting on the other side of what you are being asked to release. And what comes next in this transmission names what that something is, and why you, specifically, were positioned inside this exact window to receive it. There is a woman named Sandra from Colorado who wrote to this channel 3 weeks ago. She said, "I have been feeling like I am grieving something that hasn't died yet, like I am mourning a life that is still technically happening, and I cannot explain it to anyone." I read that, and I held it for a long time, because Sandra named something that hundreds of people have sent to this channel in different words, and it deserves a real answer, not a spiritual bypass. What Sandra is grieving is real, and the Pleiadian Council addressed it directly. What is dissolving is not her life. It is her old relationship with reality. The version of the world that operated on the assumption that what you could see was all there was, that the institutions were legitimate, that the exhaustion was personal, that the knowing you carried had no valid source. That configuration of reality, the one that told you your sensitivity was a problem and your knowing was unreliable, that configuration is ending. And when something that has been the architecture of your existence begins to end, you grieve it even when you know you are moving toward something better. That grief is not weakness, it is honest. The new earth does not arrive like a sunrise you can point to and say, "There, that is where it began." It arrives the way dawn actually arrives, which is slowly and then everywhere at once. The Pleiadian High Council transmitted this specifically. The new earth is already present and accessible to those whose frequency is coherent enough to make contact with it. And coherent does not mean perfect. It does not mean healed of everything, resolved of every pattern, cleared of every old grief. Coherent means honest. It means the gap between what you feel inside and what you present outside has been narrowing. It means you have stopped pretending the world is fine when your whole body is telling you something is profoundly in motion. Those of you watching this who have been doing that work, the honest work, the quiet work, the work that no one around you can necessarily see, I want to say this plainly. You are already making contact with the new earth frequency, not occasionally, regularly, in the moments when the fear goes quiet and something older and steadier takes its place. In the moments when you know something before the evidence arrives. In the moments when you are in a room full of people and you feel the thing beneath the surface of what everyone is saying. Those moments are not aberrations. They are previews. They are what stabilized contact with the new earth frequency feels like. And they are becoming more frequent because the field is narrowing. The Pleiadian Council named a specific location in this regard that I want you to carry. They identified Sedona, Arizona, and the area surrounding Mount Shasta in Northern California as two of the most active convergence points on the North American grid right now. The new Earth field is particularly dense in those locations, not because those places are more sacred than others, but because the crystalline grid beneath them has been running at transition frequency for longer than any other site on this continent. If you have felt inexplicably pulled toward either of those places in the last year and could not explain why, that pull has a structural origin. The field is calling the workers to the nodes. Something has been trying to get your attention for a long time. Not the world outside. Something inside the world outside. The version of it that is already different, already lighter, already running at a frequency the old architecture cannot touch. You have caught glimpses of it, in certain mornings before the noise begins, in the way certain people make you feel like you have known them forever in the span of 5 minutes. That is not imagination. That is the new Earth making contact with you through the only channel it has, your own awareness. And Mira of the Pleiadian High Council transmitted this with a precision I have carried for weeks before saying it aloud. You are not a person waiting for the new Earth to arrive. You are one of the points through which it is already arriving. Your presence in this timeline is load-bearing. Not metaphorically, structurally. The frequency you hold in your ordinary daily life, in your kitchen, in your car, in the silence before you fall asleep. That frequency is one of the anchors the new Earth is using to stabilize itself into this dimension. The Pleiadian Council identifies 3 distinct functions within the current transition field. They call them the anchors, the bridges, and the transmuters. The anchors are the ones whose primary work is to hold frequency, steady, quiet, consistent, in whatever environment they occupy. You do not have to announce this work. You do not have to perform it. A room changes when an anchor enters it, whether the anchor is aware of it or not. The bridges are the ones who translate, who can take the higher dimensional understanding that is flooding into human consciousness right now and make it accessible to the ones who are just beginning to sense something is different. The writers, the teachers, the ones who find language for what others can only feel. And the transmuters are the ones who go into the deepest places, into the most pain-saturated environments, into the most fear-dense relationships, and transform what they find there through the alchemy of love and consciousness. If your life has taken you consistently toward the difficult, toward the wounded, toward the ones no one else stayed for, that is not accident. That is assignment. Most people carry elements of all three, but one tends to be primary. And what I feel strongly about, what this transmission is pointing directly at, is that knowing your function changes everything. It changes how you interpret your exhaustion. It changes how you interpret your sensitivity. It changes how you interpret the relationships that have required the most from you and given back the least in conventional terms. When you understand that your presence is doing something the field requires, you stop apologizing for existing in the particular way you exist. The Pleiadian Council was precise about one more thing. The window that is currently open, this 18 to 24-month acceleration they have named, is the most favorable window for stabilizing your specific function that this world will offer in this generation. What you complete within this window becomes part of the permanent architecture of the new Earth field. Not just for you, for every soul who incarnates into this world after the window closes. The work you do now, in your ordinary life, in your imperfect, still in process human existence, becomes their inheritance. That is the weight of this moment, and it is also the gift of it. I want to close this transmission the way the Pleiadian High Council closed theirs. Not with urgency, not with alarm, but with something that is harder to receive than either of those things. With love that is so clear it asks something of you. Mira said this, and I have not been able to put it down since I received it. Beloved family of light, you did not come here to watch this transition from a distance. You came to be it, to live it in your body, to carry it in your breath, to transmit it through your presence before you have spoken a single word. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not too late. You are precisely where the field placed you, for the precise function the field requires from you. The only question this moment is asking is whether you are willing to believe that. I believe it. And I want to be honest about why that belief is not a comfort I arrived at easily, because I have watched people in this space, people who have been doing this work longer than I have, people who have carried a level of spiritual dedication that humbles me, arrive at this particular juncture and collapse into doubt. Not because the mission left them, but because the mission grew into something their old identity could not contain, and the growing felt like breaking. If that is where you are, if the thing you are feeling right now is not excitement but exhaustion, not certainty but grief, not the high of awakening but the long, quiet, sometimes brutal work of becoming who you came here to be, I want to say this to you directly. That is not failure. That is the crossing. And the crossing is not supposed to be comfortable. It is supposed to be real. The Pleiadian High Council will continue transmitting through this window. The Council of Mira and the Seven has made clear that the next several months carry specific frequencies designed to accelerate the stabilization of your function within the transition field. These are not generic cosmic energies. They are calibrated, targeted. The Pleiadians work with precision, and what they are sending into the human field right now is built for exactly the kind of soul who found their way to this transmission. You did not find this by accident. The field sent you here because you are ready for what it contains. If you are carrying this awakening alone, if the people around you cannot see what you see or feel what you feel, if the isolation of being this far awake in a world still finding its footing has been one of the heaviest parts of this, I need you to do two things right now. The first is to leave your name, the city you are watching from, and one word in the comments below. One word that names what you are calling in, what you are moving toward, what your heart is reaching for right now. Healing, clarity, courage, connection, home. Whatever word rose in you as you watched this transmission, leave it. Because the people who read it will feel less alone, and so will you. The second thing, subscribe to Truth Frequency so the next transmission from the Pleiadian Council reaches you directly. Share this video with one person in your life who has been carrying what you just heard named, who has been waking at 3 a.m. and calling it anxiety, who has been feeling the shift and calling it stress, who has been living inside the transition without a name for it. And the guide, what the Galactic Federation wants you to know, the full companion to everything this transmission opened, is pinned in the first comment below. It contains the daily practices, the 21-day activation calendar, the map for living inside this awakening rather than being swept by it. It is not more theory. It is what to do tomorrow morning when the knowing is louder than the quiet, and you finally have somewhere to put it. You are not alone in this. You were never supposed to be. And the new Earth, the one your body has already been touching in those moments between sleep and waking, it is real. It is here, and you are one of the reasons it is arriving.